In Navarre Beach, northwestern Florida, the beginning of fall brings with it more than just cooler temperatures and pumpkin spice. An exciting time for anglers, the first weekend of September marks the opening of fall red snapper season in Florida's Gulf of Mexico state waters. However, the opening of snapper isn't the only thing that makes September special. September 1st also marks the opening of several other highly desirable species like amberjack, gag grouper, and triggerfish, all of which can be caught from a kayak only a couple of miles offshore here in Navarre, thanks to the area's extensive system of artificial reef structure. This is by far one of my favorite times of year to offshore fish in this part of the state, but if we're planning on finding a hot bite, we're gonna need to get out there early, very early. Alrighty guys, good morning. We're out over the reefs already, getting this day started as early as possible. It's Labor Day today, and that means that fall red snapper season has officially started. So we're gonna be targeting those guys, hoping to take home a limit. But not only that, amberjack season just opened, as well as gag grouper, and triggerfish is also open too. And then of course we have the possibility of like mangrove snapper, vermilion snapper, and a whole bunch of other really cool stuff. But there's a lot of really prized big game species open right now, and we're just gonna get after it, dropping some baits. It's probably gonna be pretty low light conditions for the first little while here till that sun comes up. Hopefully you guys can see okay, but I think we're about to get on a pretty fire bite, man. It's just gorgeous out here this morning. So let's do this, guys. Let's see what we can find today. So we didn't even bother stopping to get any live bait this morning. If I need some, I'll get some ruby red lips off the reefs here, but I do have a dead cigar minnow here, just on a free line. I'm just gonna pitch him off of our right side. There's a good chance that a big amberjack or something might come up and just smoke that thing. So I'm just gonna put that behind me with that drag pretty loose. And we're gonna get some bottom rigs going. I already have some pretty good marks over structure here. I'm gonna go straight to the heavy rig just to get us started. I've got a bag of frozen cigar minnows here, courtesy of my buddy Blake, who's over there behind me. This one just ripped in half, taking him out of the bag, but we're gonna go ahead and fish it. I've got a 5/0 Mustad Ultra Point inline circle hook, and we're just gonna hook this guy right through the eyes, and then I bust out the top of the head rather than going through that other eye socket. That way it's got some like hard bone structure to kind of hold it together. I've got 80-pound fluorocarbon leader on this and a 4-ounce egg sinker, so we can get this down there pretty quick and get it through those triggerfish. All right, there is the bottom. Make sure our drag is set. I'm gonna keep it nice and tight because as soon as we hook up, I'm gonna need to crank these fish up out of the structure. This is a really big module that we're sitting over right now, so if they get in there, we're gonna lose them. I'm already getting bumped by something here. There we go. There's a fish. Oh, came off. Reset here with another live sig. We're just gonna let him go straight down to the bottom. Still trying to figure out what our drift is doing here this morning. We've got maybe like 5 miles an hour north wind. So we're kind of drifting, slightly south. So I'm kind of just pedaling north to account for it here. Okay, there's the bottom. Getting some small bites here. There we go, there we go. There he is, there he is. Oh, drag is loose, how did that happen? We're on. Good fish. Oh God. This might be my amberjack right here, dude. Oh, he's ripping. Oh, he is ripping. God. Oh, he's went right through my free line. It's all right. I'm not gonna bother trying to reel it in. We'll deal with that in a minute. I wanna get this fish up. Might be a grouper. He's just kind of dead weight coming up now. He kind of stopped fighting, actually. Nope, big snapper. Perfect, dude. Perfect. Bang, bang. First one out. Whoo! Unfortunately, my chest cam shut off at some point. I'm not sure when that happened. At least I still have that camera going, but the audio might be trash on it. Sorry, guys. Nice snapper right here, though. I'm gonna get this hook out of him. I already took my cutters and cut the bottom of his gills. He's being like oddly docile though, so it's making this real easy. Look at that beautiful sunrise red snapper getting on him before that sun even officially comes up over the horizon, man. That is what makes it worth it coming out here while it's still dark and pedaling all the way out to the reefs. That's a nice fish. We're gonna get him on ice. We're gonna get back over that structure. We're gonna see if we can get another one. That sun is cresting the horizon. Good morning, everybody. It is time to start fishing. Try dropping this back down to the bottom here and see if we can get picked up pretty quick. Marking good marks on the bottom here. Hopefully it's what we're looking for. There we go. I'm on. Good fish. Got to horse him out of that structure, man. Horse him up before the dolphin gets him. We got a bunch of dolphins that just came through a minute ago. Bunch of dolphins came through a minute ago. I gotta get this fish up here. Feels like maybe smaller than that first one, but it is a snapper. It is a snapper. He's not that big, but it is a snapper. That is definitely a keeper fish though, and I think I'm gonna keep him, man. I don't want to be greedy out here this morning. The fall season, we only have weekends open and holiday weekends. Let's get a rough measurement on. These guys are a total length fish, and he is actually total length. He goes over 19, man. He's almost 20 inches. That is not a bad one. I underestimated that one just a little bit, but yeah, we're gonna put him in the box, man. I'm not gonna be greedy today. That's a nice little slab of meat right there, in addition to that big one that we got. So, dude, cool. I'm stoked. Something about fall for me, man. When that water starts cooling down, I don't know. It gets him fired up. I've always had better luck in the fall. That is a nice red snapper to complete our snapper limit. And I'm actually really stoked that we limited so early, because with so many other species open out here right now, I wanted to check these off so we can move on to triggerfish, amberjack, and yeah, man, that's awesome. So after checking off my red snapper limit for the morning, I decided to switch over to a smaller, lighter rig that I had tied up on another rod. And this is what's called a double drop rig, and sometimes it's referred to as a chicken rig. And this is an awesome rig to drop down and target those smaller species like triggerfish and vermilion snapper that have mouths too small to eat that big bait on that big hook that we were dropping down for the larger size red snapper. I've got this double dropper rig that I tied out of 30-pound Seagar Blue Label fluorocarbon. I've got a 1/0 Mustad Ultra Point inline circle hook there, and then I've got a 2/0 there. I've got a 2-ounce bank sinker so we can get that down. And what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna cut the head off this bonita here. I am gonna keep that because that will make decent cut bait. And I'm gonna cut a chunk out and then cut it in half. And I'm just gonna hook right through the skin on those. I'm gonna put one on each of these hooks. And it's really likely that we're probably gonna get some small snapper and triggerfish tearing this stuff up, but I'm really hoping that we can get a ruby red lip first, that I can get out there on that free line for an amberjack. Well, let's see what we can do here. There we go. That feels like it's probably gonna be a ruby. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh, that's not a ruby. What was that? Maybe it is. I got that drag pretty loose. It's not big, whatever it is. Could be a mingo. It is! The beeliner. Nice. It's actually a pretty good one. Oh. Got my shirt hooked with that second hook. Dude, that's not a bad vermilion snapper right there. Okay. Wasn't expecting that on the first drop. That's cool. Actually a pretty fat one. These guys only have to be 10 inches and he's well over that. Get that hook out of him here real fast. Stay in the boat. These guys again, total length fish. 14.5, man. 14.5-inch beeliner. That's a good one. Yeah, nice mingo right there. These guys go by bunch of different aliases, mingo, vermilion snapper, beeliner, but awesome fish, man. A really cool catch. He's going in the box for sure. Since I'm limited on red snapper, there is an aggregate limit for total snapper of all species together, which I believe is 10. But in addition to the red snapper, out here we also have the possibility of catching mingos, mangrove snapper, mangoes, and we can catch lane snapper as well, which is what he just actually pulled up. So that's super cool. Get this chicken rig back up here. Go ahead and drop right here. I'm a little bit past where the structure's at, so I like to drop. I like to go past the structure once I figure out where my drift is heading, drop, and then drift over that structure and just kind of drift that bait through it. There we go. Another small fish. This might be another mingo. Still hoping for that ruby red lip, but I'm not gonna say no to a mingo, man. It is. No way. Good little school of them. Dude, that is so sick. That one's quite a bit smaller than that first one, but he's still definitely gonna be legal. These guys only have to be 10 inches and they're open year round where we're fishing here in northern Florida. Oh yeah, easily 12 and a half. That's, yep, 12 and a half total length fish. Almost just lost him out of the boat. I don't have a good grip on him. Get in there. Ton of jellyfish out here, man. This is insane. Already getting some little nibbles here. There's a fish. That's a little bit bigger of a fish there. Oh, he's in the structure. No. Oh, I don't want to retie this rig. Get out, get out, get out. Oh, did he come out? I think he came out. I think he came out. Come on, come on. I don't want to retie this whole rig. I'm running low on circle hooks. God dang it, get up here. What do we got here? It's probably gonna be a small red or maybe a trigger. It's a triggerfish. I haven't seen him today. No, what is that? Oh, it is a triggerfish. It's a triggerfish, and you know what? Dude, he might be a keeper. I think that's a keeper triggerfish. That is gonna be epic, dude. No way. Triggerfish have to be 15, and they are notorious out here for always coming in at 14 and a half. If I just pulled up a 15 on my first shot at one today, I am gonna be so stoked. I think he might be illegal. Oh, Jesus. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and unhook him, because I don't want to take a hook from him flopping around here. These guys have crazy teeth. You never want to stick your finger anywhere close to this thing's mouth. They've got such a powerful bite, dude. They will take a chunk of flesh right out of your hand if you're not careful. These ones are fork length fish. They're not total length, so you don't pinch the tail on these, which is what makes them such a pain to break 15 on. But he is legal, dude. He is 16 almost to the fork. First trigger I pulled up today, 16. All right, triggerfish, I bleed these very similar to a sheep's head. I'll just take my shears, go right behind the pectoral fins, and go about 45 degrees straight forward, just like that. Flip them over, and same thing on this side. There we go. That is awesome, man. These are one of my favorite eating fish out here. These things taste absolutely amazing, and it's so rare that I get to keep one because they all come in undersized every single time. Such a cool freaking catch, man. Awesome. There's one. I think this is gonna be another triggerfish. He's fighting like it. Could be surprised though. There's a lot of different species biting today. Nope, it's another mingo. And we were surprised. Another keeper mingo. Nice, man. They're such a cool little fish. Pretty much everything that we're putting down today is just getting demolished immediately. When I hook these little parts of cut bait, especially if they've been frozen because they like to just fall apart, I like to go through the skin and try to hook it like through the spine if you're able to get it that deep in there. That usually helps hold it together a little bit better. There's a fish. Oh, heavier fish. What are we on here? This might be a trigger or a small red. Everything's biting, man, and everything is fighting weird today. That first big snapper felt like a grouper. It's a trigger. Yeah, it's one of the little trigger fish. Little baby trigger fish right there. These guys are such a pain. They just destroy your bait on the way down. But they're such a cool fish. The reason they call them a trigger is, oh, you almost got me. The reason they call them a trigger is because this spike they have on top is a defense mechanism against predators. You can't push it down unless you push the trigger down, and then it'll go down. But really cool fish. So at about this point here, the bite really started dying down as the sun got higher in the sky, which is why it really pays off to launch in the dark and get out over the structure before sunrise. We did still keep fishing for a couple more hours though. Blake pulled up a really nice grouper and both of us caught a few more small mingoes and some other small fish. But I was really dead set on getting a keeper amberjack or a big grouper. So I finally ended up getting a ruby red lip from Blake and putting it out on a free line that never got touched, and spent the rest of the morning dropping big baits on my heavy bottom rig. I never actually ended up landing anything else, but I was on fire with getting bites from something way larger than what my gear was able to handle. Oh, 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 he came off. Oh, it's because I was screwing around. No. I personally was under the impression that it was probably huge amberjacks, but Blake thinks it was possibly a massive grouper just by the way it was running back into the reef and sticking to the bottom. I'll let you guys be the judge of that, so let me know what you think down below in the comments. Are we already on? I'm already on. Oh, did he come off or is he swimming up? Dang it. There he is. There he is. Big fish. Big fish. Big fish. Oh my God. Oh my God. This has got to be an amberjack or a giant snapper. Jesus. It's got to get him up. That super reef is super tall, so if he... Damn it. That sucks. All right, I just replaced a ton of main line, like the entire lower, like 20 feet. I just cut off because it was frayed up a little bit. And I went with a little bit longer leader actually this time, but I went with 80 pound instead of 40 pound. So hopefully that'll help us if we get reefed again. Oh, oh my God. God. There he is. You get out of that reef. You get out of that reef. Oh, he's in the damn reef. Dang it, man, right into the structure. Got me again. Oh, this is so annoying. Jesus Christ, bro. At this point, after breaking off 5 or 6 times and having to retie my entire rig over and over, I could feel myself starting to get pretty frustrated and quickly realized that attempting to pursue whatever this fish was probably going to end up ruining the amazing morning that we had already had snapper fishing. Something important that I've learned in my years of fishing is that sometimes it's better to just stop while you're ahead and end the trip on a positive note. So we decided to cruise back into the beach with our coolers full of fish. Alrighty guys, we just got back up to the car. Awesome day out there, man. Making that launch and getting all the way out to the reefs before the sun even broke the horizon definitely made the difference. Super easy to get on a hot snapper bite, and it was awesome to see that the mingoes and everything were hot today too. Got a really nice cooler full of fish here. Got a pretty big snapper. I didn't even actually measure them. Got that like 20-incher, bunch of really nice mingoes. And then what I'm really stoked about too is that we managed to get that awesome 16-inch triggerfish on the very first drop on that chicken rig. We didn't even have to weed through the shorts for the triggerfish all morning, so that was super cool. Really productive day. We fished for maybe 4.5 hours, something like that, and it worked out awesome. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss out on future content. I've got some big stuff coming up. Me and Chris from Hookcraft are gonna be heading down to South Florida here in the next couple weeks, spending a week down there targeting snook, tarpon, big jack crevalle, really whatever else is willing to bite. It's gonna be awesome. So if you guys want to see that, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one.